caption reads, "Dead broke at a six-figure salary."
Everybody making ends meet in America right now. I cannot be the only person who is breaking even or who's probably even in the negative, and I make six figures. I make $115,000 a year. I just wrote down all of my bills and all of my expenses, and I'm basically coming out even if nothing, and that's no emergencies or nothing like that. If there's any emergencies or anything like that, I'm coming out in the negative at 115K. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Cell phone, $190. Capital One credit card, $300. Water bill, $85. Xfinity, $62. Southwest, $145. Gas, $57. ComEd, $175. Student loans, $225. Daycare, $1,000. Gas for the car, $75 a week. Groceries, $1,000 a month. Rent, $2,800 a month.
Okay, I'm going to stop it right there for just a second. So he has almost $200 a month in cell phone bills. I don't understand that. I'm going to bet they all have iPhones. Sounds like he's got a few hundred in maxed out credit cards. He says this is his bill per month. So I'm going to assume these credit cards are maxed out because on 115,000, I'm going to assume gross because he's taking home $6,300 a month respectively. So I'll assume the 115,000 has got to be gross. He's spending a good few $100s each month, several hundred each month on credit card bills. He has daycare. He says $1,000 a month for daycare. It's really important that before you have kids, you factor in the cost of daycare. But even the daycare cost isn't really what I'm looking at. It's, he's got $225 a month of student loans. You know what that tells me? $225 a month tells me he most likely, I'm going to throw out a guess. I'm going to say he has an easy $50,000 plus on student loan. And if it's income based, he's got closer to what I would estimate $75,000 up. So assuming just a standard student loan, I'm going to say student loan easy around $50,000. Let's see here. Groceries, $1,000 a month. He's spending too much money on groceries. He could cut that grocery bill way down even for a family of 4. Again, I'm not saying it's fancy eating. Okay. He's got diapers. He says he has, car insurance and all of that. What's really doing him in is the ridiculously high cell phone bill, maxed out, like I said, on credit cards, a few $100 a month going there. I think his grocery bill could be dropped.
After all those expenses I just named, that comes out to $6,339 a month.
Right. That is way, way too high of an expenditure. $6,339. That's too much spending. And remember, he has no emergency account. See, this is, if you're out there and you're like me sometimes, and we get a little hard on ourselves because we're thinking, man, we don't do anything fancy. And again, he doesn't have an emergency account. He doesn't have extra funding money. He's got nothing. But sometimes, I get a little bit hard on myself because I think, man, I live in 840 square feet. I drive a Toyota Corolla, yada, yada. But then I have to remind myself something. I have a couple $1,000s a month left over at the end of the month. So I take most of that couple thousand and I put most of it, about, $1,500 or so each month into retirement, give myself a little extra fun money because I like my boba drinks and stuff like that. So I have to remind myself, it's really true. So you're looking here, single school teacher. How does a single school teacher have more money than a guy who makes $115,000? Well, it's not how much you make. It's what you keep. He is spending too lavishly.
I only earn $6,600 a month after taxes. So that gives me $261 remaining every month.
So a dude with $115,000, like I was just saying, has $260 at the end of the month, but a school teacher can have a couple thousand left over at the end of the month. See, we flex over the wrong thing, you guys. You see, somebody looks at my little car, looks at my little humble condo, and there ain't nothing to flex over. Zero, zilch, none. Look at him. I guarantee you, he's in a house, or at least I think he said he's renting. Rent is like $2,500 or something like that. He's living high in the hog, looking like he's got all of it together, when in reality, he needs to drop his lifestyle way, way down. And that rent is also too high. I think he said that was around 2,500 or so.
And that's if there's no emergencies, no medical emergencies, no car breakdowns or anything like that. Not to mention, there ain't no vacations in there. There's no leisure activities in there. Just want to go out and have fun. None of that is factored into that. You factor all of that, you factor any of that other stuff in, and I am well in the negative. And this is not a huge list of expenses.
And the other thing is, if he has a spouse and it sounds like she might not work, here's the kicker. Let's say they were two school teachers and they each made, let's just throw out a number, 60,000 each. That would be about the same income. So they're just simply living beyond their means.
As you guys may or may not know, I decided to impulsively quit my job a month ago. And let me give you an update. I've been living life and enjoying my time off. I was busing for 7.5, 8 years, working and doing college full time. And things happened at the department I was working in where I was like, I need to get out of here ASAP. So I put in my resignation and I left. I had one job offer. They knew I had a master's degree. They offered me, and I quote, $19.78. In what world should we be accepting an offer for $19.78 when I have 8 years of work experience and an MBA? I ain't doing it. And then I had another interview lined up to be an executive assistant, and I canceled it because I'm done scheduling people's appointments. I'm not doing it anymore. I graduated with my MBA in healthcare administration with a 4.0. I have an advanced certificate in nursing home administration 4.0. You know what I mean? 8 years of work experience in healthcare, working my way up. I'm not scheduling people's meetings anymore. I quit my job as an administrative assistant too in graduate medical education because I was done scheduling meetings. I am capable of so much more than that. I don't understand why employers cannot see that. I really don't freaking get it. And it's frustrating.
If this attitude comes out during the interview, I can see exactly why she's not hired. I really can. I won't say it's self-entitlement, but it certainly sounds that way to me. Coming across and saying, I have an MBA and I quit my job and I don't see why you don't find me valuable. Perhaps she shouldn't have quit her job. Too many people are quitting their jobs without something to go to. Then they go onto social media and they slam the hiring world because the hiring world doesn't recognize just how valuable they are. You know, let me tell you something, especially you young folks out there. There is nothing wrong with staying in a job that pays the bills, that isn't too miserable for you to be at, and you find other hobbies and interests outside that job. Everything doesn't have to be about the job. You can find things when you are away from work. Hence how I am here with you fine people today. Okay. I decided I needed something outside of work. You know what? I think I'll start me a little chatty YouTube channel. And here we are today, thanks to all of you guys. There is nothing wrong. It doesn't have to be an all or nothing. It doesn't have to be, by God, this job is not recognizing me. I am so much more talented and capable than this. I'm going to quit with no plan to go to. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. You can actually keep both. But unfortunately, on TikTok, if you get down the rabbit hole too much, you are going to believe that simply because you are in a stable job, you are bringing a stable check, that somehow or another, that is you bowing down to colonization, bowing down to the white man, bowing down to soul-sucking 9-to-5 work, being a simp, whatever you want to call it. It's not. It means you value a paycheck. You value the stability that that paycheck brings you. You have the ability to find interests that go beyond simply what you do for a living. You are not necessarily defined by what you do. I mean, yes, there are people, they feel like they are totally defined by what they do. In some ways, I feel kind of sorry for them because what you do may be required to change. Voluntarily or involuntarily, all of a sudden, unfortunately, you get sick, something happens, or maybe even your child gets sick, you have to leave work, yada, yada. So it's okay to keep a job, but find something else outside of it. This woman here comes across, she has that attitude of entitlement mixed with, I don't know, sort of a self-serving know-it-all. All I've heard her say basically is, I'm done. I'm over it. I'm not doing this. Lots of opportunities are missed when your attitude is, I've achieved this so far in my life and I am never going to this again. I'm just simply saying it's something to consider before you quit your 9 to 5 steady job to go and do what she has apparently done. And it's not working. And she went all over TikTok and told everybody, she was quitting her job.
So I had another interview at a long-term care facility 4 weeks ago. It was for a human resource and business office manager position. The interview went exceptionally well. I'm talking, the interview lasted over an hour. They gave me a tour. They told me in the interview that they wanted me and started pitching the job to me. I met staff, and before I was walking out, they went online, printed out their benefits information, and handed it to me. Looks pretty good, doesn't it? So then they needed to schedule me for my second interview with someone with HR that oversees the whole organization. It went well, and then they started going over what the training looks like. I get the email today. I'm sorry, but we decided we're gonna go with another candidate. I'm like, are you serious? This whole interview process for this one particular job, I applied end of April, and it's June 10th or something right now. That's a long time to be playing these games. I not given this position because they thought I was overqualified, that I wasn't going to be here for more than a year?
They didn't give it to her because they didn't like her. That's the default. That is truly a default answer. Oh, we found, you're just so educated and talented that, we didn't feel you were a match for the job. They gave her back the same attitude she probably gave to them during the interview. I'm not saying she was like this during the interview, but I'm sure that after you've interviewed enough people, you can see the writing on the wall. And this is the other thing. When you put all this stuff out on social media like this, you're showing the employer all your cards. Employers just don't need to know all this information about you. They really don't.
Is that why they didn't give me the interview? Because I've never had someone say, we see you moving on to bigger and better things. So what is it? I apply to half of these jobs. I don't even get an interview. I apply to another half of these jobs, and then I apply to jobs like this where it would be a great opportunity for me, and they give me the vibes of that I'm overqualified, like I'm not going to be here for longer than a year and I'm going to jump ship or something. This is getting ridiculous. And I'm 25 years old. I'm turning 26 in October, and do you see what we have to go through?